Hello. Um, Ni hao. Hola. Whatever. I don't feel great. I don't feel great. I kind of want to vomit. My head feels very heavy. I'm tired. I'm grumpy. And to be completely honest, I'm probably feeling this way because of my own behavior. I'm pretty sure I made this bed. I'm pretty sure I was in control of this emotional and physical outcome. I'm feeling this way because I've been slacking, and that slacking has led to declining results. There is more than one client that I owe something to, either a personalized video message or just check in, just like say hello. There are former clients that I said I would do a favor for, and I've just been like in fucking communicado. On that lovely introduction, hello, I'm an educator and an entrepreneur. And right now, I'm kind of sucking at it. Um, Ironically or unironically, my company, Off the Beaten Path Learning, helps learners of all ages, children and adults, to gain confidence and clarity. And here I am, struggling. And I'm making this video because those things can coexist. I want to talk about feeling like shit. I want to talk about it because the question that I'm posing in this video is, how do you turn periods of failure into an accelerator for growth? So first I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and what is going on, and then I'll tell two true stories about famous people who I've never met, who are both dead at this point. One of them is from the perspective of a founder, an entrepreneur, and one of them is from the perspective of a parent. And both audiences, keep in mind that Off the Beaten Path Learning, our core audience are neurodivergent founders and families. So if you find yourself in that very specific camp of people, like me, I am neurodivergent, I am an entrepreneur, I have a family, then I don't have children, mind you, I'm not a parent. I'd like to be, but not a parent right now. Then, perk your ears up a little bit and see if this kind of thinking and logic, and check out the other videos and check out the website and see if this is for you. See if this could help you. And if it resonates, click buttons, like, comment, subscribe, all those things, please. So, what do you do? So, how do you turn failure into an accelerator for growth? Be self-aware. Have compassion for your self-awareness, because once you're self-aware, once you're honest with who you are and what you do, you're going to see some blemishes. You're going to see some stains, you're going to see some stuff that you don't like, that may be ugly to look at. So self-awareness, self-compassion, then you're going to need to get back up, be resilient, and then you're going to need to hold yourself accountable, and then you're going to need to do that consistently for the rest of your life. It's no big deal whatsoever. So I'm going to loop that again, okay? Self-awareness, that comes first. Be honest. Know thyself. Arlen Hamilton, who is like, I don't know her, but she's a venture capitalist. She's an entrepreneur. She's an author of 3 books now that I've read. Arlen Hamilton says, Help people who need you to find you. Help the right people to find you. And the only way you're going to do this is if you know who you are. So know yourself. Know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Know all of it. And part of that is keeping tabs on, are you doing what you said you would? So if you have been watching this channel and you're one of the 77 subscribers, or you've seen me talk about consistency, then you might know that I used to be really bad at it, and then I got slightly better at it. And update, I am really struggling with it more recently. And what my theory is that good things have accumulated recently. The output is outputting a little bit more, and I'm having trouble keeping up. But here's the trick. Here's the trick. After you're self-aware, you're going to need to inject some compassion into the equation. You're going to need to love yourself fully, which sounds, however it sounds, I don't care. It's incredibly strategic. It is tactical. It is all of the things, okay? Because the thing is, if you feel shame, nothing good will come of it. You will be depressed, you will eat too much, you will eat too little, you will sleep too much, you will sleep too little, you will be mean to people, you will say nothing, whatever. It won't be good. You'll bully people. Shame is, it's not productive, ever. Guilt can be productive. Remorse can be productive. Doubt can be productive. Even insecurity in sometimes can be helpful, right? Like, to feel doubt, to feel remorse means that you're unsure, or that you feel some kind of, I shouldn't have done that. That happens. That's good. That's you checking yourself. Shame, as researcher Brene Brown talks about, is you not looking at something, is you feeling ashamed, is you feeling like you don't belong for some very personal reason. And that is only destructive. That will only hurt you and the people around you. So, okay, to shame. Don't just don't. Avoid it. Avoid shame. What you can do instead is have a lot of compassion for yourself. And so that means being wholehearted. That means seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly and accepting it fully. It doesn't necessarily translate into, okay, I'm going to do nothing about it. That's not what I said. It just means I see it, it is what it is, and I'm not going to hate on myself for it. I'm going to believe in my ability to help myself and other people, and I'm going to use this self-awareness and self-compassion to get back up and hold myself accountable, to be resilient and hold myself accountable, to keep my promises to myself and the people around me, and do so consistently. Okay, let's get to these stories. Story number 1 is about a founder who faced a lot of failure. Can you guess who it is? Probably not, because being an entrepreneur is almost, failure is almost like a rite of passage for an entrepreneur. It's even more broadly a rite of passage for just growing up. So the person I had in mind was Madam C.J. Walker. She is the first ever self-made female woman millionaire in the United States. Maybe in the world, actually, I don't know. And before she became a huge success and helped a lot of people, she was a pretty consistent, as traditionally thought of, she was pretty consistently a failure. She was poor. She was trying things that weren't working. She was getting surpassed by her peers. And not without reason, right? She was born in the 1800s to parents who used to be slaves, who were enslaved, and then she was orphaned as a child. So enslaved parents, now no parents, and then she worked as like a person that washes clothes, and she didn't make any money, barely made any money. And then in her 30s, due to all the stress of everything I just said, she started losing her hair. But that was the best thing that could have happened to her because she figured out um, how she could make her own formula to help her hair grow. Now, it wasn't instantaneously, now I have $1,000,000. She had to work her butt off and go to places and talk to people and collaborate with the right people, not the wrong people. And she faced betrayal and she faced a lot of hardship after that point. But that was the first of many turning points that allowed her to fight racism and sexism and her own life hardships. And she did. She overcame all of it. I mean, I'm not trying to say she had like the most perfect life in the world. I'm sure she still faced hardship, as we all do. But her business exploded, and she became self-made millionaire and created jobs for literally thousands of people, many of them black. And she's awesome. She's just like an awesome historical figure. And we have to remember her failure when we remember her as a success. We have to. Because failure is not the end. Very often it is the beginning. Okay, story number 2. What to do when your kid is messing up again and again. This story is about Charles Darwin's parents who wanted him to become a doctor. They had big dreams for him. He was going to become a doctor or like follow in the church. I don't know really what that was. They wanted big things for him. But he could not stand the sight of blood. He would faint, and he struggled to stay in medical school, and so he was just like basically rejected from any idea that he would do well. And of course, now he's Charles Darwin. Like we all credit, rightly or wrongly, we credit. He's very popularly associated with the theory of evolution and natural selection and these huge scientific breakthroughs. Is like Darwin's name is all over it. He did not stay stuck in his failure, right? He loved nature and he knew that. And so what he did was he found a ship that was going to like the Galapagos Islands sometime in the 1800s. Oh, it's called the Beagle, the HMS Beagle, I think. And that decision, even though his parents didn't want him to do that and were like, why are you becoming a sailor? You're not a filthy animal. But he was like, I can do whatever, I'm going to do what I want. And him surrounding himself with such a culture shock, and going to this place that was so what am I saying, geographically? No, not, it was geographically a very different place, but it was also, the biome was so different than from where he came from that it allowed him to see like bigger plants, bigger leaves, more wild flowers, different animals, these huge, I mean, and he sketched and he sketched and he sketched and he sketched. And that's what led him to finally think of these discoveries and keep going with that. So failure isn't always failure. Sometimes it's just much needed redirection. And so I'm kind of making this video very selfishly in a way, which is to remind myself, and you, the person watching, that it's just the beginning and you can use this as course correction, and don't give up on yourself, and just like get it together and keep your promises. And remember that arc, right? Be honest, self-awareness, be okay with it, but not too okay with it, self-compassion, get back up, resilience, accountability, consistency, repeat, repeat, repeat. Thank you for watching. And if you do want to talk about one-on-one guidance with Off the Beaten Path Learning, if you find yourself, you're an alternative learner, you're an alternative person, you want to grow the way that you want to grow, reach out. We can talk about how we're going to find you some more clarity, some confidence. It's a free call. You can schedule a free call. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful.